90s anime. There's just something so comforting about that classic animation style and old school sound quality. It was a simpler, more innocent time with classic story arcs. And what could be more classic than watching a character go from this to this?
My queen! I love you! Oh, my queen! Oh, you're so naughty!
Okay, so maybe not so innocent. Today we're taking a look at Golden Boy. Based on the manga by Satsuya Igawa, Golden Boy is an R-rated comedy anime that ran for only 6 episodes in 1995, and the potential reasons for the show's short run will become apparent very quickly. Yeah, this is definitely one of the craziest and weirdest animes I've ever seen. And it's definitely more than a bit outdated and not the kind of anime you could even think about making today. But keeping that all aside, if you're willing to accept it as a relic of its time, it can be a bit enjoyable. Just a quick and very important disclaimer though, this is an adult anime, and neither the show nor this recap are in any way appropriate for children. If you are under 18, we've got plenty of other videos for you to check out, and you can always come back here when you're a bit older. Now, without further ado, let's dive in. The series kicks off in just about the most 90s way possible, with 2 girls talking about how lame it is when a guy sings along while listening to his Walkman. Then, right on cue, in rides our hero Kintaro Oe, doing exactly that, singing along terribly to his Walkman. So, Kintaro is a self-described, easygoing, job-hopping part-timer, and is on his way to this newest part-time gig, and I gotta say, they really don't do voice acting like this anymore.
I'm on my way to yet another place of employment. I wonder what it'll be like. Boy, I can't wait.
As he's riding his trusty 5-speed bike, Kintaro is run off the road by a yellow sports car and crashes into some garbage cans. Out of the sports car comes this woman. Jeez, we're really doing this, huh? Okay then. So, this woman approaches Kintaro and asks him if he's okay. Kintaro manages to stammer out a response, and the woman casually hands him 1 million yen to pay for his dry cleaning and any damages to his bike. The woman turns to leave, but Kintaro tells her this is way too much money and grabs her shoulder. But the woman tells Kintaro to keep his bike on the sidewalk in the future and drives away, leaving him with the money. Fortunately, Kintaro was able to take an important lesson away from this whole encounter.
That was educational. Some women are scary.
Looks like we've got quite the scholar on our hands here. Then, Kintaro goes to get his bike repaired by a kind old man, who tells him the damages are minor and that he'll gladly fix it up for free. As Kintaro is walking away, some Yakuza thugs pull up and start harassing the old man for some money he owes them. Here it is, the moment in every anime's first episode where the protagonist decides to be a hero and shows us what they're made of. Or maybe not. Instead, Kintaro hides around the corner and takes some more notes in his notebook. Okay, he may be a coward, but the guy just loves to learn, okay? After all that, Kintaro finally arrives to his new part-time job at a software company. Naturally, his new boss is none other than the scary woman who nearly hit him with her car. She immediately sends Kintaro to go clean the toilets, and while he does, his mind starts to wander. Jeez, bro clearly has a lot of admiration for powerful women. Unfortunately though, his new boss walks in on him while he's drinking water from the bidet, and this leads her to think Kintaro is a pervert, which is kind of valid, I guess. But before she can fire him for being an absolute weirdo, Kintaro explains that he is deeply passionate about software development and that he stayed up late the night before studying computers. So his boss decides to give him a chance. What Kintaro doesn't tell her though is that he can't afford a computer and spent all night practicing on a keyboard made of paper. Later, the office workers, all beautiful women, tell Kintaro that they program exclusively in C-base, which he assumes has something to do with third base, as in getting to third base. So he just creeps everybody out.
I love programming! C-base! C-base! I want to get to C-base!
You're fired!
Kintaro's boss then predictably fires him because he is, quote, obviously unstable, and he again begs for another chance, saying that he will do any job no matter how disgusting, and that they don't even have to pay him. Jeez. Anyway, she agrees to let him stay, so Kintaro throws himself into his work, learning as much as he can from the other employees and constantly taking notes, although half of them are just drawings of women. He cleans the building's windows and almost falls to his death after being distracted by the view. Then he cleans the women's locker room where he finds someone's undies and decides to try it on for himself. When some of the women come in, he has to hide in a locker while they get changed. Right as he's about to go home for the day, Kintaro sees that someone left their computer on. He thinks he can impress his boss by turning off the computer to save electricity, and to make certain that it's all the way off, he just unplugs the whole thing. Uh-oh. Only it wasn't a computer that he unplugged at all, but rather the company's only server. And since this totally legit software development company has absolutely no backups, the app they've been working on for months is now completely gone. The boss discovers this immediately and asks who unplugged it, which Kintaro proudly takes credit for, earning himself a punch in the face and a torn up notebook. But if there's one thing I know about Kintaro, it's that you don't mess with his notebook. Never mind. Kintaro again begs for forgiveness, but the boss isn't having any more of his excuses. Kintaro also reveals that he has somehow already spent all of the money she gave him just this morning, which angers her even further. Come on. I know he can be a handful, but at the end of the day, he's just an innocent guy? Alright, that's insanely disgusting. What the hell is this anime, and why did I decide to watch it? A week later, all the women in the office are still working overtime to try and recreate the app that Kintaro deleted. Suddenly, one of them miraculously finds a completed version of the app on a disk that Kintaro left for them. The boss assumes that Kintaro made a backup before unplugging the server, and the whole thing is a big prank. But the women point out that this version of the app is way better than the one they had before, meaning that Kintaro coded an entire new and improved version of the app this company has been working on for months in just 1 week. Totally effing realistic. The women then all run outside to look for Kintaro, and who do they find out there but the old man from the bike shop and his wife? They explain that they are also looking for Kintaro to thank him because he gave the million yen to them to help pay back what they owed to the Yakuza. This melts the boss. She can't believe how wrong she was about Kintaro, so she gets in her car to search for him. Then, in an absolutely insane voiceover reveal, we learn that Kintaro studied law at Tokyo University and left school the day before graduation. The episode ends with Kintaro riding his bike down the highway, seemingly at 100 miles an hour, on the search for his next adventure. So that was episode 1, and we find out that even perverts can be smart and also kind? Who knew? Episode 2 opens with Kintaro standing inside a huge mansion, trying to look up the skirt of a girl on the 2nd floor. Jeez. Alright, if you're a woman watching this recap, I sincerely apologize. Anyway, as he tries to follow her with his eyes, Kintaro learns yet another valuable lesson.
Today's lesson! The human head cannot turn 360 degrees.
Good to see he's right back to his idiotic self. It turns out that the mansion belongs to the town mayor, Mr. Katsura, who is Kintaro's latest employer and in the midst of his 3rd run for re-election. Mayor Katsura uses his immense wealth to run the town with an iron fist, buying votes and paying off the Yakuza to stay in power. Kintaro is trying to find any excuse he can to go back to the mayor's mansion to spend more time with the girl, who is the mayor's daughter, Naoko. One of the mayor's lieutenants warns Kintaro that the last guy who tried to go out with Naoko was sent to the bottom of a lake with concrete shoes. But something tells me that's not going to be enough to stop Kintaro. Back at the mansion, Kintaro is... oh god. Why did they let him near the toilet?
Wait! Don't worry! I'm just filling in for the regular cleaning lady! I'm not a weirdo!
No, not a weirdo at all. Just a normal guy who regularly drinks toilet water for fun. Anyway, Naoko's pervert radar must not be working today because she decides to take Kintaro by the hand and bring him to her room. And as she's doing that, Kintaro imagines that his hand is... I don't even want to describe what's going on. Naoko casually changes her clothes in front of Kintaro, who has the exact reaction we've come to expect from him. But you see, Naoko knows exactly just how much of a pervert Kintaro is. It ain't exactly rocket science to figure him out, and she's kind of enjoying teasing him, knowing that he's too scared of her father to actually touch her. This is exactly what Kintaro is thinking, as he runs out of her room in fear. The next day, Naoko runs into Kintaro on the street and apologizes for making him uncomfortable. She intentionally falls into Kintaro's arms, and he quickly realizes that she isn't wearing any undies.
Excuse me, but I would like you to read this.
Huh? Miss Naoko, excuse me, but should you be running around dressed like that?
Damn, maybe Kintaro has finally met someone who's just as big of a freak as he is. Naoko hands him a letter inviting him to come sneak into her room that night, and he obliges. Although I'm not sure why he's dressed up like Steve from Blue's Clues, she asks him to help her with her math homework, while continuing to tease him. She thinks she's torturing him, but Kintaro doesn't seem to mind a bit. He promises to come help Naoko with her homework every night. This continues for the next couple of days, with Kintaro working for the mayoral campaign by day and tutoring Naoko by night. One day, while studying in her traditional studying outfit, Naoko steals Kintaro's notebook, thinking that he must have written about how crazy she's driving him. Instead, what she reads reveals that Kintaro has completely seen through what Naoko has been doing this whole time.
She thinks she's very bold in playing the tease by taunting me in her amateurish fashion, but in truth, she's really a very sad girl.
Naoko curses Kintaro's name and vows to destroy him. Mayor Katsuda wins his re-election, but Kintaro is too distracted by his missing notebook to celebrate. While searching for it in Naoko's room, she cuts up her own clothes with scissors, hands them to Kintaro, and lets out a deafening scream. Her father comes running into the room, and Naoko tells him Kintaro had just climbed in the window and started attacking her. However, instead of trying to explain the truth, Kintaro kisses Naoko and declares his love for her. Mayor Katsuda and his thugs start beating the living crap out of Kintaro, and Naoko is so shocked by Kintaro's actions that she rushes to his side and begs the men to stop. She then takes responsibility for the whole thing and apologizes to Kintaro.
I just wish you'd been sorry a little quicker.
What the hell did he just say? After that, Kintaro leaves town for his next job, but is stopped by Naoko, who gives him back his notebook. She tells him that all because of him, she's going to step out of her father's shadow and start living her own life to the fullest. Mayor Katsuda, who is following to make sure Kintaro leaves town, is asked by his driver why he didn't just kill Kintaro, to which he replies that he can tell deep inside Kintaro is a strong, honorable man. Very, 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 very deep inside. Episode 3 finds Kintaro working in a noodle restaurant, helping out the owner while his broken arm heals. Okay, this seems to be a work environment that doesn't have room for any pervy shenanigans, so maybe we'll get an episode where Kintaro isn't constantly perving out? We'll see. So, one day, the noodle restaurant gets a visit from Mr. Kogure, a local businessman who's also the man that brought the store owner to the hospital after his arm was broken in a hit and run. The rich dude comes in and invites Noriko, the daughter of the store owner, to his yacht, all while he touches her hand creepily. Ugh. That night, Kintaro and Noriko spend time together, and she tells him her deepest desire.
I really want to arrange a bouquet of flowers for the man I love. That's what I'd especially like to do one day.
Wow, we're 8 minutes in and Kintaro hasn't put his head inside a single toilet. I'm kinda glad, not gonna lie. Aboard his super mega yacht, Mr. Kogure asks Noriko to marry him. He tells her he is madly in love with her, but she says she needs more time to think about it. Later, Kintaro is on his way home from the bathhouse when he sees Mr. Kogure with another woman. Kintaro follows the couple to their car and overhears Mr. Kogure saying he was responsible for the hit-and-run accident, and his marriage proposal to Noriko is all part of a plan to take control of the noodle shop so he can close it and open a bar. Doesn't seem like the kind of thing a guy with a super yacht would have to resort to, but I guess that kind of thinking is exactly why he has a yacht and I don't. Instead of, running and telling Noriko everything he heard, our sweet, naive MC knocks on the car window and asks Mr. Kogure very nicely if he would please not treat Noriko like that. And unsurprisingly, Mr. Kogure pummels Kintaro and threatens to kill him if he tells anyone what he heard. But we know Kintaro won't be so easily deterred. It's like his main thing, apart from being a weirdo. Mr. Kogure takes Noriko on a date to the horse races, classic rich person second date spot, and in his private box, he tries to seduce Noriko, but keeps finding his attempts thwarted.
First of all, let's take things from the top.
I don't think so.
That's strange.
Thinking that it's Noriko, Mr. Kogure accidentally hits Kintaro with a Kogure special corkscrew kiss, which looks romantic. Ugh, what the hell is this show? Noriko is still unsure about marrying Mr. Kogure, and while out walking one night, she hears Kintaro talking on a bridge above her. He's begging Mr. Kogure to leave Noriko alone, who responds by saying horrible things about her. Noriko comes up from behind Kintaro, who tries to act like they were talking about a different Noriko just to spare her feelings, but she doesn't buy it and runs off crying. Mr. Kogure is about to punch Kintaro for foiling his plans when our guy hits him with an insane combo.
I opened up a can of whoop ass. I used my Kempo training center technique in such a manner as stupid as this.
And where has this training been the last 3 episodes? The next day, Mr. Noodle Shop owner's arm is all better, and Kintaro's work here is done. He goes up to Noriko's room to say goodbye, and she presents him with a bouquet of flowers she arranged just for him. She's struggling to tell Kintaro how she feels about him when he interrupts her and says he knows exactly what she's about to say, but that he isn't the right guy for her. He tells her that he knows someday she'll meet someone who cares about flowers just as much as she does, and just like that, he rides off into the sunset. Wow, hold on. Did we somehow switch to a completely different anime? A whole episode without a single perverted moment from Kintaro? I'm kinda proud of our MC here. Episode 4 begins and it's wintertime, and Kintaro is biking down the street when he sees an attractive woman, and he, say it with me folks, loses his goddamn mind. This is Ayuko, the head instructor at a local swim school. Kintaro begs her for a job teaching swim lessons, and she decides to give him a tryout.
So, how do you like my swimming?
I liked it, Kintaro. I liked it a whole lot. The coaches tell Kintaro he should be taking beginner lessons, not teaching them. But when has that ever stopped him? He challenges Ayuko to a swim race in 1 month's time. If he wins, she has to hire him as a coach. And if she wins, she gets to do anything she wants to Kintaro for a whole year. I'm guessing her first order of business would be to have him go somewhere very, very far away. Anyway, it turns out Ayuko is no run-of-the-mill swim instructor, but rather a gold medal winning former Olympian swimmer. Ladies, don't you just love it when you spend your whole life becoming one of the best swimmers in the world only for some pervert to wander in and say he thinks he can get better than you in a month? I guess some things never change. Although he's technically only supposed to be taking lessons, Kintaro helps out with teaching his younger classmates how to swim. He's surprisingly good at teaching kids, and being able to walk on water certainly doesn't hurt. Wait a minute. Long hair, able to walk on water, travels around helping people. Is Kintaro just pervert Jesus? Christ. Ayuko chastises Kintaro for having too much fun with his students and not being strict enough on the kids that are afraid of the water. Another instructor tells him that he should be holding his kids' heads underwater to get them used to it, and if they can't handle it, he should tell them to just drop out. Jeez, is this a swim school or a boot camp? Kintaro joins the advanced class, and Ayuko has to admit that she can't believe how much he has improved in such a short time. After class, she decides to see just how good he's gotten. She dives into the pool and tells Kintaro that if he can catch up to her, she'll admit she was wrong about him. Kintaro gives it his all, and thanks to some extra motivation, he catches up to Ayuko no problem. Alright, maybe I take back the Jesus thing, because I definitely do not want to get canceled right now. Ayuko tells Kintaro she's impressed with how much he's grown, but when she turns around to face him, well, he's grown alright. Looks like someone got a little excited in the pool. Ayuko isn't about to allow this kind of behavior at her school, and she knocks Kintaro out cold. He wakes up naked on the street and heads home in the freezing cold. The next day, Ayuko is surprised to learn that more students have graduated from the beginner class than ever before. One of the instructors tells her that it's all thanks to Kintaro's teaching method of actually having fun with the students. Not only are they learning how to swim, they're enjoying it as well. This reminds Ayuko of something she had long since forgotten: how fun it felt the first time her father taught her how to swim. The episode then ends with Kintaro riding off into the night, with Ayuko thinking about hiring him if he ever comes back. Another day and another girl smitten over this pervert. Episode 5 starts with Kintaro riding his bike up a mountain pass when suddenly a woman on a red motorcycle races past him. Exhausted, he finally reaches a rest stop where he sees the woman again and is completely taken aback by her beauty. I don't want to say this show is getting predictable, but oh wait, yes I do. It's predictable. The woman then, rubs herself on her motorcycle for a bit before taking off into the mountains. Jesus. Looks like this week, Kintaro is working as a servant for a rich family that lives on this huge mountain estate. And wouldn't you know it, the master of the estate just so happens to have a pretty daughter named Reiko. Kintaro is really enjoying this job and wonders if he has finally found a place to settle down for good. The next day, Kintaro is... No! I thought we all agreed to not let him near any more toilets! But when Reiko walks in on him, she says nothing and slides the door shut. Maybe she took it as a compliment? Nope. Kintaro is immediately fired and thrown out of the estate.
Wait, we haven't even developed the subplot yet! Oh, phooey.
Well, that was fast. Kintaro camps out in front of the estate waiting for something to happen. He waits for 28 whole days. And one morning, just as he is finally about to give up, he sees Reiko getting into a taxi. He follows her to an abandoned building, and when he sees the red motorcycle from earlier, Kintaro realizes that Reiko is the same woman from the rest stop. We straight up cannot show this next scene, but let's just say Reiko and her motorcycle give Kintaro a repeat performance, only this time with less clothes.
You've got an...
Yeah.
You want me?
I think that statement would be true at literally any point in this anime. Anyway, Reiko tells Kintaro that as long as she has her motorcycle, she'll never need a man. However, if he can catch up to her on his bike, she'll spend the night with him. Oh, Reiko, you don't know how far this dude is willing to go to make his dreams come true. Reiko and Kintaro start their race, and Reiko leaves him in the dust. Kintaro knows there's no way for him to catch up to Reiko unless he uses this super dangerous shortcut that goes straight down the mountain. Uh-oh. Kintaro survives his descent and gains an incredible amount of momentum, enough that he is able to latch himself onto the back of a sports car. Wait, when the hell did he get a grappling hook? The sports car screeches to a halt to avoid hitting a raccoon, and Kintaro is launched into the air. When Reiko looks over, she sees Kintaro riding along the power lines. He is able to catch up to her, but before long, Kintaro runs out of road and is unable to stop in time. Reiko is bereft, realizing that she finally met the one man able to keep up with her, and immediately got him killed. That is, until she sees Kintaro still riding down below, entirely unscathed. She races after him, reaching out to our dude here with all her heart, telling him to stay. But for Kintaro, there are still more worlds to conquer. Is it just me, or is the plot getting thinner and thinner with each passing episode? Ugh, who am I kidding? I don't think anyone would watch this anime for its plot. We finally made it to episode 6, and Kintaro is just about to start his final job, running errands for an animation studio. Another job means another pretty coworker, this time in the form of Chie, a cell painter at the studio. Kintaro is learning a lot about the animation process and bonding with the animators over their shared love of drawing naked women. Seriously, what the hell is this anime? Anyway, the animation studio is working on a feature film based on the hit manga called The Valley Where the Oni Screams. The manga is written by Tetsuya Engawa, an artist most known for his other hit manga, Golden Girl. Let me guess, it's about a girl with a toilet fetish? Yeah. One day, the studio is visited by Mr. Engawa and the movie's producer, who warns the studio head that he had better be able to finish the movie by the deadline, which is due in a month and a half. After that, the animation studio goes into crunch mode to finish the movie on time. Seeing them crunch so hard, Kintaro gets worried about the animators' health since they are now only eating instant noodles. In a thoughtful twist, he even decides to make them all a nice home-cooked meal. That's so kind and responsible of him. I sure hope there's no toilet nearby to distract him.
I wonder if it's still warm. Oh God, what am I thinking? Why do I think these things?
Damn it! Ugh, this has got to be the last time. It could be worse though, as instead of Chie walking in on him this time, it's the studio head. And instead of firing him, he just kicks Kintaro's ass. The producer comes back to yell at the studio head for his lack of progress, and he tells her that on the current schedule, it is going to be impossible to finish the film on time. Chie accidentally spills some tea on the producer's shirt, which Kintaro helpfully jumps in to clean. Enraged, the producer tells the studio head that if the movie is not completely finished by the deadline, she will make sure the studio is shut down for good. Right as the animators are getting pumped up to go into super crunch mode, they get a call from the movie's director, who has just been hit by a car and is in the hospital. Kintaro is not ready to give up, however. He suggests that the studio use computers to speed up the rest of the animation process. The animators tell him they just don't have enough resources and would need to have a connection to a software development company to even try something like that. Sound familiar?
Kintaro! Oh God, you don't know how long I looked for you! What are you doing now?
That's right, the unnamed blonde woman from the first episode is back, and you know she has not been able to get Kintaro out of her head. Yeah, I cannot believe this is happening to a man with a freaking toilet fetish. Anyway, Kintaro works harder than ever before to help the studio finish the movie on time, calling in favors from all the women he's worked with over the course of the series. He gets Ayuko to agree to be filmed while swimming to be used as a reference shot, and Noriko from the noodle shop comes by to make the nutritious meals for the staff. Naoko helps out with the voice acting, and Raiko uses her motorcycle to deliver the final reel just in time. At the film screening, everyone from Kintaro's past is gathered to see the result of all his hard work, and the movie is a huge success. But before anyone can even congratulate him, for the last time, Kintaro is already off looking for his next job. Only this time, he's being followed closely behind by all the women whose lives he has changed, and the future for Kintaro looks very bright indeed. Wow. Well, that was Golden Boy. And honestly, a better title for it would be Toilet Boy. Seriously, I'm still not sure if it was a good idea to cover this anime, since it has a lot of weird and problematic stuff in it. But I guess I was able to look at it as an insane time capsule from the 90s that tells us just how different everything was. But what do you think? Is a show like this still worth watching in 2025? And is there any hope that Kintaro will ever get over his debilitating toilet obsession? Leave a comment below. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And as always, we'll see you next time.